Okay, first we've got the base plate. Now base plate, it's already been fitted, so the glides are in place. The saw blade meets the line that it's supposed to go, and you can see how the blade guard will work there. And the stop block, as you can see, I just simply place it into my table there and it can't go any further. Right, the first thing to do is assemble the shuttle onto the back plate. Now, it must be assembled from left to right because of the positive stop. You won't get past that if you came the other way around. Now, what we're looking at is in the channels, there is what the glides go into. So we just need to locate them into them channels. Which is very simple. And there we have it. Okay, first thing then is to mount the side plates to the back plate. Obviously the one with the aperture for the thread goes on to the right hand side where the control block's going to be. And that's just simply screwed into place. And then the whole thing screwed down to the base. So let's do that. Okay, next to put in the threaded bar. Right, at this end of the shuttle, we've got the block with the T-nut in, which houses it, and the T-nut has been put on from behind, so it cannot move. Before these two pieces were assembled, the front piece, I rebaited out a slot in the back of it to allow for the thread to pass inside there without obstructing anything. What I want to do is send it all the way that way first and then wind the thread all the way in. So you can see. Okay, that'll be enough for now. Now we need to start putting all the bearings and the first on there. Now what I've done is I've put a washer against the body there and the bearing just to give me a spacer. That's all it's for. Then we send on, as it's got a T-nut in it, the first cog. Now that's firmly against the stop. We can send this up until it's tight. No. Okay. And a locking nut. Now this we just lock against that T-nut in there. So you take all of it and then start to reverse it the other way. Okay, next we need to check and insert this bearing onto the thread before this goes on. It sits inside the block there and it's got a little stop point there which will hold everything against the thread and the movement. First, shove a nut on, check how far this bearing's going to go. Okay, now we screw this block into place simply with screws. a couple from this side first to pull it tight to it, and then I'll put some from underneath. Okay, now we need the other cog in place. Now I'll put a handle on just for simplicity, but it's not needed. If you decide not to have one, you don't have to have one. All we're doing is once it's in place there, we just literally turn it with our hands. That's all that you need. Okay, now I need to build up with washers that point there, and I want to build it up until these teeth are sitting just nicely on each other to operate without it kicking it up at all. Well, it seems that was just the right amount of washers there. Working perfect. Okay, now we can lock that down. And that's better. A good positive connection there with the teeth. Just tighten up to stop any wobble, and then shove a lock nut on top. Okay, that's that part of it done. Now I'll turn it away just to show you. The only thing left next is to put on the magnifying lens. Now I did originally have a plastic lens, or plastic case for this lens, this magnifying lens, but as I was working on it I tipped it over and the thing just cracked on me, so I decided to make a wooden one instead. I mean, even with good eyesight you get a little bit of a shadow and it's very difficult to see millimetre markings, so with that it makes it very easy. And there we have it, that's stopped. Okay. Now the other thing is putting on the clamps. 2 clamps, one for holding the wood against the shuttle and one for holding it against the 90 degree. Simple T-nut. If I've got small wood, that will take me right to the 90 degree bar. And if I've got big wood, this will bring me right back as far as I can go. So that is giving me the aperture for the biggest piece of wood I can do, which is more than enough, I'm sure. If I need it bigger, then I just have to make a bigger jig, but I don't think I will do. And this one, the tooth side facing down, just so that at an angle it will still tighten down to it. Now you can always put a packer under this side just to balance it out, to keep things level. But it seems to work quite well for me. Right, but before we can say we've finished fully, we've got the sacrificial block to put on, which just sits at the bottom of there perfectly. So what I'll do is I'll raise the blade just so that I can set that exactly where I want it. Slide it up the blade and screw it into place. And it just gives a backer for me pieces of work. That way I'm not going to get any split out, cut out of the back of it. Well, that is the jig ready for use. What I want to do next is just run some pieces through and just check the calibration, make sure, because I've just assembled it, that everything is back exactly how it should be. But it's going to be, I think, a very easy jig to use. Well, that's me for today. So, thanks for joining me again, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.